It's KPOI 105.9, The Big Kahuna, Honolulu's only classic rock, and Midnight Dead. Dave Lawrence here with you. And we have a very special guest whose keyboard work you've been hearing this weekend on the show. It's a man I've admired for a long, long time. Very talented, and I had the pleasure of seeing live in concert about 10 times when he was keyboardist for the Garcia Band. He's back with both a solo effort as well as a new band project. We'll hear about both and more as we proudly welcome to Midnight Dead the legendary Melvin Seals. Aloha, Melvin.
Aloha, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you, my pleasure. All right.
It's awesome to get to finally talk to you. I've been really enjoying your new solo CD, Melting Pot, which just has so many styles of music. Is that how you came to call it Melting Pot?
Well, yeah, that's why we named it Melting Pot, because it turned out that way, and it just kind of seemed a fitting name for it.
How did your background influence the diversity of the CD?
Well, I must first say the CD, how it came about, so you can probably understand why there's so many different styles. Originally, this CD was not necessarily recorded for me. I was writing songs to submit to other artists for their record. Mm-hmm. And in the midst of, over a course of 7, 8, 9 years, writing material, and my management said the last year, Melvin, there's some great songs here. We just need to get this out. And, and they once said, why don't we just put it out as a Melvin Seals record? And, of course, I like having an idea of having a record out, but I was a little concerned because there's so many different styles because it wasn't written for me. I was writing songs for other artists. Mm. And so, and the genre of music that the fans know me from, it's probably less of that on there.
That's very true.
Yeah. So I was a little concerned what that would do, if to be very proud to have my first solo record out, and then it comes out and it's just slick commercial songwriting songs, what it would do. But they really wanted to do it, and we went ahead with it, and we said with the next record you can execute what you really want to do. But in the interim of that, I'm finding that a lot of folks actually like the idea of so many different styles on an album. It's actually maybe a little trend there, because everyone I've spoken with liked to hear such a variety on a record.
It really does have, variety is a great word, diversity. I mean, it's the kind of album, it's aptly named, because there is so much of a variety, and I think that's keen of you to have perceived that what you're known for, predominantly by the larger group of folks out there who are aware of you, would be the Dead style of music, the rhythm and blues and funky soul that Jerry made his own. Yeah. And I find, as I've digested it, there are two songs that group of people must, you may have already been tipped off that they're gravitating to, and that would be Traveling Man and Woman with an Attitude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
Those are the two that I immediately realized were, like you said, this is not an album that is all of one style of music. It's not an album that reproduces the feeling of the Jerry Garcia Band. It's nothing like that. It's really much like you've described it and much like the title of it. It's and also I hadn't known really that it was an effort where you had made a bunch of songs maybe for other people and then they had ended up on one thing. That really does explain it well. But those two songs, that Traveling Man and Woman with an Attitude, they just really seem to crystallize the kind of sound that I think Dead fans maybe would have expected from you. Yeah, that's just at least how I see it. How did Elvin Bishop end up on Traveling Man?
Well, Elvin is one of the artists that I was writing the song for, hoping that he would do that song. And I used to play with Elvin Bishop. I played with him for 6 years before Jerry. And so I asked him to come in, and I had the song with his name on it. I just kind of wanted him to play guitar. It was the original idea for him to play guitar and hear it and say it and want to do it. Well, he did play guitar, but he didn't pick up the message. This was for you, buddy. So that's how he came about playing. Elvin and I are very good friends. We're actually fishing buddies. We like to fish together.
Oh, nice. Where do you guys fish?
Oh, man, the Honolulu and the Bay Area, the ocean, the reservoirs, all over the place.
Nice.
Yes, I love it.
Is Traveling Man an autobiographical tale?
No. It's just a theory. Well, something that I know a lot of musicians that I guess maybe what you just said was maybe so. I know a lot of musicians that seem to have problems in their love life or in their with their spouses because they're musicians and they travel so much.
Yeah, I mean, it does. So it is sort of an autobiographical tale in some ways.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Right, that's what I figured as I listened to it and my limited studying of you. And the other one, A Woman with an Attitude, that is a smoking riff in that. And as I listened to it, there's been a lot of songs in the last couple years that I've noticed the storyline has to do with someone letting a female into their life who maybe they shouldn't have let into their life. Someone a little too wild, a little too dangerous at the moment, someone who seems so alluring, and you knew she was probably bad news at the time, but you kind of push away your better instincts and go with that feeling that, I just want to experience that. Is there any of that in this? Or?
Well, again, Woman with the Attitude, Traveling Man. Well, Traveling Man is the opposite. Not bad experiences. Let's see. There's one on there, but it's the flip side. It's the guy that's bad experiences. It's the third song. I think it's the third song. I'm Not Gonna Cry Anymore. That's all the way a woman's song. And actually, how I wrote it, I can't tell you. But it's. I know every woman on this earth has gone through a situation one time or another with their man or their boyfriend, their husband or whatever, of cheating on them.
Right.
And so this is what that song is written for a woman. And see, again, I written that song, and I had Bonnie Raitt in mind for that song.
Oh, wow.
So I had a female singer come out and sing it, and I was going to submit it to Bonnie Raitt. And, of course, the female that came out and sung it is doing the vocals on it now, That song is just, when I listen to it, it's a great song, but it's so far from what I do.
And you're talking about the one about the crying tune, or are you talking about?
I'm Not Gonna Cry Anymore.
And that is, I think that's really cool when a songwriter can take a stretch like that.
Yeah.
And get to a place that, especially a guy like yourself who's been around a long time, and it must feel really good to demonstrate to yourself the diversity of your abilities when writing a tune. But back to that, I just have a couple other questions on Woman with an Attitude, because I've really been liking that tune a lot and keep listening to it a lot at my house. Is it based on one person, or is it a composite of several?
Composite.
Okay.
Not just one person.
So it is a composite.
Yes.
And would you say that that's a woman that you want to have or get lured into being with?
It's just saying that there are some women out there just so hot stuff. And it's not always with an attitude, because we were going to submit that song to Macy's Passport. Well, the same kind of thing. When they walk out and they're demonstrating outfits, they come out with an attitude.
Oh, I get it. Okay. So it's not necessarily a negative thing.
Yeah, it's not necessarily negative. It's just saying this woman knows who she is.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
Like a self-defined person.
Yes.
Okay. And besides all of the great material on Melting Pot, it's almost as if you didn't have enough CD time for one thing. You also had to get yourself a new band, The Mix. And who do we know in that? And how did this American Spring CD come together? Basically at the same time, it seems to us.
Well, actually, the Mix was out a lot early. It was out last year.
Okay.
It's just I guess they're more picking back with it again with the promotion of my solo record.
Okay.
It was out 6-7 months ago.
Okay. But still relatively new then. It's within the last year.
Still relatively new. Well, I met John Candlestick from Dark Star Orchestra, and he plays a guitar a lot like Jerry, and we were in the same kind of situations. He plays with Dark Star, and what they do is simulate the Grateful Dead on any given night. And he's a good songwriter, good vocalist, but he's not able to put any of his material in his set because all they want to hear is Grateful Dead.
That's right.
And the same thing, what I've been doing, I still go out as a tribute band to Jerry, JGB, and all they want to hear is those songs that Jerry did. And so as a writer, I'm starting to get frustrated. So when I met John, we talked about putting something together that we can explore our writing ability and go out and do some new songs on stage and kind of just, you always want a writer, you always want to know, you kind of want to know if there's a place out there for you.
Sure.
People like your material. Do you have something or not? So we said let's put a little side project together and go out and do some gigs and do some originals, and we did, and we got Greg Antoine on drums and Kevin Rosa, also the bass player for Dark Star. So after doing about 2 or 3 tours, Rain Man heard of us and signed us up and allowed us to do this record, American Spring.
Nice.
And so, again, it allowed us to do original material. There's probably 2 or 3 cover songs, but basically the whole album is original material. And it was released, I think, just before summer last year.
Okay. And a noteworthy element to it would certainly be having Grateful Dead lyricist Robert Hunter contributing.
Absolutely. Well, Greg Antoine and Robert Hunter, they write together periodically. And so through Greg, we were able to get some Hunter songs.
That's nice.
Yes.
It's a great name to get on your record.
Absolutely.
I don't have to tell you that.
Doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of your original projects, which are coming out, and I feel your frustration. I can imagine what it must be like to have worked in something that's so fixed, and even though it's not fixed, something like the Dead and Jerry they seem very open and stuff, but once it's said and done, you've pointed out something that's very true. It must be a little difficult to deal with. The fans come, they expect a certain thing. It's like, they're coming because they want that stuff, and I can imagine it can be difficult because you're a human being with a lot of creative impetus inside you, and it obviously goes a lot further than just the stuff you got to do with Jerry.
That's right. That's correct.
And so I understand where you're coming from on that, and especially being in this business and being a Dead fan, I can sort of see it from both of those sides. There's a lot of other recordings, however, coming out now, which and on the Jerry tip that feature you, a bunch of these pure Jerry recent releases.
Oh yeah.
That have been coming out. Which of them is your favorite?
Well, I don't know yet. They're putting out so much so fast.
They certainly
Half
are.
the time I hear from fans that something new had just came out.
I can barely keep track of it myself. I mean, it's like I get all set to feature something on the show, and then another one comes in the mail. It's and the latest with you, the Merriweather Post 1989 4-CD set.
Yeah.
That was my very favorite Jerry Garcia Band tour, Melvin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that fall. What are your memories of those fall? The tour I'm talking about, the fall of 1989 Jerry tour.
No, I don't. I did so many tours with Jerry.
You can't remember it in particular.
I don't. There's some things I remember, certain shows, certain venues, but not necessarily the tour.
I bet I can give you something that'll help you remember it.
Okay.
I saw about 5, something like that, a bunch of those shows in New England, and Clarence Clemens was sitting in for the whole show.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, does that bring you back?
After that was a great tour. Yes, it was. That was them. Yeah, that's definitely. I love that one because I met Clarence, and I got to work with Clarence. We went to Europe with him, with his band after Jerry.
Is that a relationship that was built while doing the Jerry thing?
Well, this was when we went to Hawaii for 17 days with Jerry, and after that we had a break in our schedule. And that was just before that tour. Clarence had went out with, so Clarence had heard us, and he kind of wanted a band similar to the Jerry Garcia band, two female singers and that organ sound that he. So he asked me, he had some dates overseas, and asked me if I would go out and sit in with him. And of course, I cleared it with Jerry and made sure they wouldn't be funny about that, or
sure.
It was okay, and it was, and I went out with him for a while.
But you guys first hooked up here in Hawaii?
Well, no, Clarence. After that tour, we had
what are the 17 days in Hawaii part with Jerry?
Well, we only had 2 shows in Hawaii. What Jerry did was offered us a vacation over there.
Oh, nice.
So instead of paying us for the 2 shows, they covered us for 17 days, food and per diem, and just a fantastic time in Hawaii.
Wow.
And we went scuba diving with Jerry and got to see the things he liked to do over there.
And in advance, this is an interesting aspect here. You knew in advance, like, instead of getting paid, we're going to send you on vacation. So instead of getting paid for the 2 gigs, you'll have like an all-expense-paid trip to be with Jerry for a little over 2 weeks in Hawaii.
Yeah, they told us that, and we took it. Of course, we took it.
Unbelievable.
And so the 2 dates, they paid for it, but it was all right,
And you got a lot of quality time with Jerry over that couple of weeks?
Oh, I got quality time with Jerry from the time that I met him, a lot of time I rode with him in the private plane, the Learjets. I was kind of with Jerry all the time. I almost looked like I was his bodyguard.
Damn. I mean, I can't tell you, Melvin, when on that '89 business, when you walk into the venue and it was Bobby and Rob Wasserman were doing an acoustic thing. That's how it opened.
Yeah.
And then you guys would come on, and half of the tour, Clarence hadn't been there or something. Like several dates, there was no Clarence, because I know down in like Hartford or something, there hadn't been any Clarence. Then suddenly, in the dates outside of Boston, for instance, it was like, the lights come on, and there you guys are, and without any prior warning at all, no notice, no way did you know. It wasn't in the Dupree's Diamond News thing. It wasn't anywhere.
Yeah.
There's Clarence Clemens.
Yeah.
And not doing one song, not doing half the show, not doing, doing the entire show. It was a mind-boggling experience. I just have to let you know that for those of us in the crowd, I doubt anything will stick out in my whole Grateful Dead lineage quite like not knowing why, that he was going to be there, and then being blown away as song after song, he stayed up on stage through both sets and then multiple shows.
Yeah, well, he didn't, you're right, he didn't start that tour, but we knew that he was coming. It was, from the time we started our tour, he couldn't do the first whatever, I don't know if it was a week or whatever.
Yeah.
But and he didn't rehearse with us, but we knew that he was going to join us and be on the tour.
Well, I'm sure you did. I'm just saying, those of us who are not quite as connected as you, who were just out in the crowd, it was mind blowing. And I've never gotten to spend any time with Clarence discussing it, so I just my heart feels better knowing that at least I brought the stuff up with you, because you've got to know how important that was to fans, and if there's ever a moment you can have some say as to what Pure Jerry releases come out. I just want to put in a recommendation that something from that latter part of the '89 tour that has Clarence, because you were wailing, Clarence was wailing, and you were smiling so much, and it seemed like everybody was a little bit happier almost.
Yeah. Well, that's a good suggestion. All it takes is according to the estate, if it's anything that's got quality to it, they will release it. I'm
fighting for that one, man. I hope, Melvin, I've put a big seed in your heart, and I hope you don't ever forget that I mentioned this. Late '89, you want to get some of those dates with Clarence. It's hot stuff, brother.
I have to look for it, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the one thing they are coming out with is that's going to be in July. It's kind of like a tribute to Jerry being gone for about 10 years, is the first and the only 4-camera DVD that was shot at the Shoreline Amphitheater, Bill Graham place.
Which gig is this? That summer solstice gig?
I believe it was the summer solstice. We were on Bill, and also the Art Neville came out and jammed with us. So that is scheduled for July. It's a DVD, and I think it'll be the only one that I'm aware of professionally that's going to be released.
That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is huge. When you look back at the incredible career that you got to have working with Jerry, and what would be, like, what is the most special memory that you hold that really that when you think of it, it makes you sort of warm and fuzzy inside? Well,
there's a couple things that happen with Jerry. The show, you always hear the term, I've heard the term sometimes, person to give you a shirt off his back when someone is trying to talk about how kind someone is. Well, Jerry was really just like that. And there was two things that is really dear to me. I remember once I was up at Jerry's house for Christmas time. This is not a gig story. Just they invited us up to his house for Christmas, and he had this big designer chair, easy chair, and it was like Jerry's chair. But me being a large person, they offered to me, I will sit right here, sit in Jerry's chair, sit here.
Aww.
So all night long, I sat, in that chair. I mean, it was comfortable. It was beautiful. And gosh, I remember Menashe saying, which was his girlfriend at the time, "Boy, you look so comfortable in that chair." Well, about 3 days later, they delivered that chair to my house.
Aww,
I have that chair to this day. Yeah.
That is so huge.
Oh yeah. This was Jerry's chair. And then another one was there was a synthesizer. There was an instrument that I, normally when something new come out, and if it's something that we can enhance our show with, they would buy it, and it'd be for them, for me to use with them. So there was this Kirchwell, a really expensive one that came out that I said, well, Jerry, I sure would like to have this, and we can do all of this. I can do these sorts of things with the show. And so within weeks they bought the Kirchwell. So I had it brought to my house, delivered to my house, so I can learn how to operate it, because this is a very sophisticated, complicated one.
Sure.
And it's never left this house. It's like, and after a month or two, Jerry said, Melvin, just keep it. Just let me have it.
Man.
I mean, and we're talking about a Kirchwell that's over $20,000. Never been on stage. Never even made it to the band. It's been in my house ever since.
He really was that generous and loving towards you.
Yes, he was. Absolutely.
That's amazing. Those are two moments that I'm sure fans are thanking you right now for including in this interview. That's remarkable stuff. And I hope you understand that and I'm sure you've been asked this stuff many, many times. I just want to thank you for being willing to share it. And I know that working with the Jerry Band is a part of your life, and you're a continuing musician with continuing projects. But it's very important for people to get to hear these kinds of stories. And I thank you very much for being willing to share a few real personal moments like that with Jerry Garcia, who is a hero to us all. So,
absolutely.
No, we do appreciate that, Melvin.
All righty.
And a big thanks to Melvin Seals for being my guest. He has an incredible solo CD I urge you to pick up called Melting Pot, and the project The Mix has American Spring out. And look for Melvin on the recent Pure Jerry releases, including the new Merriweather Post Pavilion 4-CD set from 1989, and this coming summer, the DVD that he alluded to. And I am sure that I speak for my listeners of Midnight Dead and KPOI 105.9 The Big Kahuna. We are grateful for your time, Melvin Seals.
Thank you very much.
A big mahalo.
That was great. I love that, yes.
You're the man. Those are some dynamite stories, dude. You made my day.
All right.
I'll be thinking about that chair and keyboard for a long time to come.
All right. Hi, this is Melvin Seals, known from the Jerry Garcia Band. I'm here with Dave Lawrence, Midnight Dead. Hi, this is Melvin Seals, known from the Jerry Garcia Band, here with Dave Lawrence. My favorite time of the day, 4:20,